I need to tell you something, and you might not like it. The person working against your life is not far from you. In fact, you know them, you talk to them, you trust them, and that is exactly why it is dangerous. Listen, have you ever felt like things were just not adding up in your life? Like doors close for no reason? Like sudden hatred appears where there was once love. Like favor turns into rejection overnight. You pray, you try, you push forward, but something keeps pulling you back. And deep down, you feel it, something is wrong, but you cannot explain it. You start asking yourself, why me? Why is everything suddenly falling apart? Let me tell you the truth. Most people are afraid to say, not every battle you face is natural. Some of it is intentional. I remember a time when I was surrounded by people I called family. We laughed together, ate together, shared secrets. I never imagined that someone among them was watching me, studying me, waiting for the right moment to strike. Everything was normal until it wasn't. Suddenly, I started losing things. Opportunities disappeared. Friends turned against me without reason. Even my peace was gone. At night, I could not sleep. During the day, I felt heavy, like something was sitting on my life. And I kept asking, what is happening to me? But here's what shocked me the most. The attack did not come from a stranger, it came from someone close. Someone who smiled with me, but secretly wanted me to fall. You see, when someone is working against you spiritually, they don't always show it physically. They hide it, they act normal. Sometimes, they even act like they care. That is what makes it dangerous. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever shared good news with someone, and instead of joy, you felt something strange? Like their smile was forced, like their energy changed, like something just didn't sit right. Pay attention to that feeling because your spirit can see what your eyes cannot. There are signs, clear signs, that someone close to you is not who they appear to be. And if you ignore them, you will keep suffering without understanding why. The first sign is this: unusual reactions to your progress. When good things start happening to you, watch carefully. Do they celebrate you or do they go quiet? Do they encourage you or do they suddenly become distant? Sometimes they will even change the subject quickly, as if your success makes them uncomfortable. Why? Because what is lifting you is threatening what they are doing in secret. I remember sharing a breakthrough once, something I had prayed for deeply. Everyone was happy, except one person. They smiled, but their eyes told a different story, and that was the beginning of everything going wrong. You must understand, not everyone clapping for you is happy for you. Some people clap, so you don't notice their intentions. The second sign: you feel drained after being around them. Think about it. There are people you meet, and you feel energized, you feel light, you feel peaceful. But then there are others. You spend just a few minutes with them, and suddenly you feel tired, confused, heavy, like your joy just disappeared. Why? Because not every presence carries peace. Some carry something else, something dark, something that feeds off your energy. You may not see it, but you feel it. And that feeling is not random, it is a warning. I used to ignore that feeling. I thought maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was just tired. But every time I was around that person, something left me. And I didn't understand it until it was too late. The third sign: they always know too much about your life. This one is dangerous because it looks innocent. They ask questions, they show interest, they make you feel comfortable. So you open up, you share your plans, your struggles, your dreams. But what you don't realize is this: not everyone asking about your life is asking to support you. Some are asking to monitor you, to track your progress, to know exactly where to attack. Have you ever noticed? You tell someone about a plan, and suddenly things start going wrong? You share your next move, and somehow it never works out. That is not coincidence. That is information being used against you. I learned this the hard way. Every time I spoke, something in my life broke until I stopped talking. And suddenly, things started working again. That is when I realized silence can protect you. Now, let me ask you again: who in your life reacts strangely to your success? Who leaves you feeling drained? Who always wants to know everything about you? Think carefully, because the answer may be closer than you think. And here is where it gets even deeper. Sometimes the person does not even hate you openly. They smile, they help you, they act kind. But deep inside, there is jealousy, comparison, bitterness. And those emotions, when they grow, they can turn into something dangerous, something intentional. You see, not every attack starts with hatred. Some start with jealousy. And jealousy, when it is not controlled, becomes something else, something darker. That is why you must be careful who you allow close to your life. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves your trust, because access is power, and the wrong person with access can do damage you cannot see. I want you to pause for a moment. Think about the last time everything in your life was going well. Now think about what happened just before things started going wrong. Who entered your space? Who got closer to you? Who started asking questions? There is always a pattern. Always. Most people just don't pay attention. But now you know better. Now you can see what others miss. Let me tell you something else. If someone is working against you, they will often try to stay very close. Why? Because distance makes it harder. Closeness gives them information. Closeness gives them influence. That is why sometimes the people hurting you are the same people checking on you every day. It sounds confusing. I know, but that is how it works. They don't want you to suspect them. So they stay near, they act concerned, they act involved. But behind the scenes, something else is happening, and if you are not careful, you will never see it. So what do? First, trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't ignore it. That feeling is there for a reason. Second, reduce what you share. Not everything needs to be spoken. Not every plan needs to be announced. Move quietly. Protect your life. Third, observe more than you speak. Watch people. Listen carefully. You will start noticing things you never saw before, the way they react, the way they speak, the way they change. And slowly, the truth will reveal itself. I know this might be uncomfortable. You might be thinking, is it really someone close to me? I understand, because I asked myself the same question. I didn't want to believe it. But the signs were there, clear, consistent, undeniable. And when I finally accepted it, everything changed. I became more careful, more aware, more protected. And slowly, my life started coming back together. So don't ignore this. Don't brush it off. Because the longer you ignore it, the more damage it can cause. And you deserve better than that. You deserve peace. You deserve progress. You deserve a life that is not being secretly attacked. But that starts with awareness. That starts with seeing what is hidden. So I will ask you one last question. Who in your life fits these signs? Think carefully, because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that might just be the beginning of your freedom. If this opened your eyes, stay alert and stay watchful, because not everything around you is what it seems. Think about the silence. Have you noticed how the person you're suspecting suddenly goes quiet when you're actually doing well? Or maybe they do the opposite. They get louder, more intrusive, asking questions that feel like they're digging for a vein. That's because the person bewitching you isn't just looking to hurt you, they're looking to own your narrative. In the world I left behind, we didn't just throw a spell and walk away. It was a process of binding. It's like wrapping a thread around someone's wrists over and over again. One thread doesn't do much, you don't even feel it. But 1,000 threads, you're paralyzed. You're standing in the middle of your life, and you can't move your arms to reach for your own dreams. That's what's happening when you feel that strange, inexplicable stuckness. It's the weight of 1,000 silent threads spun from the jealousy of someone who sits at your dinner table. Have you ever looked at your hands and felt like they didn't belong to you? Or looked in the mirror and felt like a stranger was peering out? This is a deeper level of the work. It's called displacement. When someone is working against you with a high level of intensity, they are trying to push your spirit out of its rightful place so they can occupy the vacuum. It sounds like a horror movie, I know. I wish it was just fiction. But how many times have you found yourself saying things you don't mean, acting in ways that are completely out of character, driving toward a destination and forgetting how you got there? People call it dissociation or brain fog. And sure, sometimes it's medical. But when it's coupled with the other signs, the dead plants, the broken electronics, the sudden chilling cold in a warm room, it's a sign that your spiritual perimeter has been breached. Someone has invited themselves into your psyche. I remember a man who came to me once, back when I was still in the darkness. He didn't want to hurt his brother. He just wanted his brother to stop being so lucky. That's how they justify it to themselves. They don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as balancing the scales. They think you have too much love, too much money, too much peace. And because they feel empty, they think taking from you will fill them up. It never does. It's like drinking salt water. The more they take, the thirstier they get. So they keep coming back for more. They keep sending more negativity. They keep whispering your name into the shadows. Does that make you angry? It should. Righteous anger is a protective fire. It's the energy that can burn those threads away. If you're sitting there feeling like a victim, you're giving them exactly what they need. They feed on your submission. They starve when you stand up. Watch for the accidental touches. This is a big secret in the craft. Physical contact is a powerful conductor. Has someone been touching your hair lately? Oh, you have a stray thread on your shoulder, or your hair is so soft as as they stroke it. In the wrong hands, a single strand of your hair is a direct line to your biology. It's a biological tag that can be used to anchor a curse to your physical health. Have you been getting sudden, unexplained rashes? Sharp pains in your stomach that the doctor can't explain? Check your hairbrushes. Are they missing more hair than usual? Check your laundry. Are items of clothing, especially undergarments, going missing? These aren't just laundry mishaps. These are links. To bewitch someone effectively, the practitioner often needs something that carries your DNA or your scent. If someone in your life is always borrowing clothes and never returning them, or if they seem obsessed with your physical person, you need to set a boundary immediately. Stop letting people touch you who don't love your soul. And what about your children or your pets? They are the most sensitive barometers for spiritual interference. Animals see what we have been trained to ignore. If your cat, who is normally a sweetheart, starts hissing at a specific friend of yours, don't scold the cat. Thank the cat. If your dog refuses to go into a certain room in your house, pay attention. They are sensing a frequency that is jagged and hostile. Children, too, will often have night terrors or start talking about a shadow person when someone is working against the household. The person bewitching you might not even be targeting the child, but the spillover of their malice is so toxic that it infects the most vulnerable members of the family. It's like secondhand smoke, but for the spirit. It lingers in the carpets, it hangs in the curtains, it poisons the atmosphere. You have to understand the law of as above, so below. What happens in the spirit will eventually manifest in the physical. If you are being bewitched, your physical environment will reflect the chaos. Are your pipes leaking? Is there a sudden mold problem that won't go away no matter how much you scrub? These are manifestations of rot in the spiritual foundation. The person doing this to you is trying to rot your life from the inside out. They want you to live in a state of constant repair, constant exhaustion, constant fixing. Because if you're busy fixing your sink and your car and your marriage, you don't have the energy to fulfill your purpose. You're distracted. And a distracted target is an easy target. Let's talk about the pity play. This is the weapon of the covert bewitcher. This person doesn't look like a witch. They don't wear black. They don't have an altar. They are the person who is always suffering. They are the professional victim. They use their pain to tie you to them. I need you, they say. You're the only one who understands me. And because you're a good person, you give. You give your time, your money, your emotional labor. But have you noticed that the more you give, the worse your life gets and the better theirs gets? It's a seesaw. They are literally draining your vitality to power their own life. They are charming you into being their battery. It's a form of emotional and spiritual vampirism that is often backed by dark intent. They know exactly what they're doing. They use your guilt as a leash. The moment you try to pull away, they have a crisis. They get sick. Something terrible happens to them. It's a calculated move to keep the connection open. Break it. Let them have their crisis. You are not a human sacrifice. Have you noticed a change in the way people perceive you? This is another shocking sign. You used to be well liked, but suddenly, people are misunderstanding everything you say. Your boss is looking at you with suspicion. Your neighbors are being cold. It feels like there's a veil between you and the rest of the world. This is glamour work, but in reverse. Instead of making someone look beautiful, the person bewitching you is making you look repulsive to others. They are projecting a cloud of static around you, so that when people look at you, they feel a sense of unease or irritation without knowing why. It's a way to isolate you. If they can turn everyone against you, you'll have no one to turn to but them. It's a predatory tactic used to create total dependency. They want to be your only source of comfort, even though they are the source of your pain. It's the ultimate gaslighting. Do you feel like you're being watched when you're in the shower or when you're intimate with your partner? That's not just paranoia. When someone is obsessed with you in a dark way, they can project their consciousness. They astral travel, though most don't call it that. They just call it thinking about you really hard. But at a certain level of intensity, that thought becomes a presence. It's a voyeuristic, invasive energy. If you feel a sudden cold spot in a room that is otherwise warm, or if you smell a scent that doesn't belong, like a specific perfume or tobacco, or something foul like sulfur or rotting meat, that is a sign that a sending has arrived. Someone has sent a familiar or a piece of their own darkened spirit to monitor you. They want to know your weaknesses. They want to know what makes you cry. Because once they know your cracks, they know where to pour the poison. I know this is scary. I know you want to look away. But looking away is what got you into this position. You have to be willing to see the ugly parts of the spiritual world to protect the beautiful parts of your life. The person bewitching you is counting on your fear. They are counting on you being too civilized to believe in such things. But ancient truths don't care about modern skepticism. Gravity works whether you believe in it or not, and spiritual laws work the same way. If someone is using those laws to harm you, your disbelief is just a shield made of paper. You need a shield made of fire. Think back to the last gift you received that made your skin crawl. Why did you keep it? Because you didn't want to be rude? Because it was expensive? Listen to me, no item is worth your peace. If you have a vase, a book, a piece of clothing, or even a piece of furniture that feels off, get it out of your house tonight. Don't sell it. Don't pass the curse to someone else. Destroy it. If it can be burned, burn it. If it can be broken, break it and throw it in a trash can far away from your home. As you do it, say it out loud. I break every link. I return every sending. I reclaim my space. Words have weight. Sound is a vibration that can shatter spiritual constructs. Don't whisper. Speak with the authority of someone who owns their own soul, because you do. No matter how much they've tried to bind you, they can't take your yes or your no unless you give it to them. Have you been feeling a strange pull to go back to an old toxic situation? An ex lover who treated you like garbage? A family member who belittles you? A job that was killing you? If you've been doing well and suddenly you feel a magnetic, almost painful urge to return to the place that broke you, that is a summons. The person there is calling you. They are using your old memories and your old wounds as hooks. They are pulling on the strings they left inside you. This is why no contact is so important. It's not just about not talking, it's about closing the frequency. If you keep the door a crack open, they will keep blowing smoke into the room. You have to seal it shut with iron resolve. What about your finances? I touched on this, but we need to go deeper. Poverty spirits are often sent by those who are jealous of your lifestyle. Have you found yourself losing money in ways that make no sense? A tax error that costs you thousands, a sudden emergency every time you manage to save a little bit. This is a specific type of bewitchment meant to keep you in a state of survival. When you're in survival mode, your higher centers of the brain shut down. You can't think about God or purpose or joy because you're worried about bread and rent. It's a way to degrade your spirit. If you notice your money dying as soon as it hits your hand, look at who you've been telling about your earnings. Who knows your salary? Who knows about your bonus? Stop talking about your harvest while you're still in the field. There are birds waiting to eat your seed before it can even sprout. Look at the people who have excited your life recently. Sometimes the bewitching happens when you try to leave. The moment you decide to level up, the person who was holding you back will ramp up their efforts. They might start smear campaigns. They start telling lies about you to everyone you know. This is a form of word cursing. They are trying to kill your reputation, which is a form of social death. If you find yourself being accused of things you never did, or if people are suddenly discovering things about you that are completely false, you are being hit with a tongue of fire. Someone is trying to burn your bridges so you have nowhere to go but back to them. Do not defend yourself to people who are determined to misunderstand you. Your defense is your silence and your success. Let the lies burn themselves out. They always do. But pay attention to who started the fire. That is your enemy. I remember once I was told to tie the tongue of a woman who was speaking the truth about a corrupt man. We used a piece of beef tongue and needles. It sounds barbaric because it is, but the physical act was just a focus for the mental intent. The woman actually started stuttering. She lost her voice for weeks. She thought she had laryngitis. She didn't. She had a spiritual gag over her mouth. Do you feel like you can't speak up for yourself lately? Like the words get stuck in your throat? Like you're being hushed by an invisible hand? That is a binding of the throat. Someone doesn't want you to tell the truth. Someone is afraid of your voice. Who would benefit if you stayed quiet? Who gets nervous when you start to speak your mind? There's your person. How do you feel when you wake up? I'm not talking about the 3 a.m. snap awake. I'm talking about that first moment of consciousness. Do you feel a sense of impending doom? Like something bad is about to happen, even if your day is planned to be fine? This dread is the residue of the work being done against you while you were unconscious. Your spirit was fighting all night, and you've woken up with the bruises. If you wake up more tired than when you went to bed, every single day your energy is being siphoned. You are being used as a source in the astral realm. You need to grid your bed. Use salt under the four corners. Use prayer. Use intention. Set a boundary that says, nothing enters here without my permission. You have to become the sovereign of your own sleep. The person bewitching you is likely someone who is stagnant. People who are moving forward don't have time to sabotage others. It's the ones who are stuck in their own bitterness who look around for someone to pull down into the mud with them. They see you climbing, and it hurts their ego. They want to be better than you, but they don't want to do the work to actually be better. So they try to make you worse. It's the logic of the crab in the bucket. If I can't get out, neither can you. Is there someone in your life who has been in the same rut for years? Someone who complains about the same things every single day but never changes? That person is a prime candidate. Their stagnation is a breeding ground for the kind of resentment that turns into spiritual malice. Have you noticed your luck changing for the better when you're away from a certain person? If you go on a trip for a week and suddenly your head clears, your energy returns, and good things start happening, and then the moment you come back and see that person, the cloud returns. That is the clearest evidence you will ever get. That is a localized influence. The energy is attached to them or their proximity. They are a carrier of the contagion. You might think, but I love them, or, but they're my mother brother partner. It doesn't matter. A person can love you and still be a vessel for something that hates you. They might not even be fully aware of what they're doing, but their soul is aware. Their shadow is doing the work, while their ego plays the loathing role. You cannot afford to be sentimental with your survival. Do you see the patterns yet? The sudden accidents, the broken electronics, the dying plants, the gifts that feel cold, the siphoned energy, the nightmares, the closing of the roads, the gossip, the stuckness. These aren't separate events. They are the branches of the same poisonous tree. And that tree has a gardener. That tree is being watered by someone's focused hatred. You have to stop looking at the branches and start looking at the person with the watering can. The shocking sign you're looking for, the one that will prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, is the reaction to your shielding. When you start to protect yourself, when you stop calling them, when you clean your house, when you stand in your power, watch how they react. They won't be happy for you. They won't say, I'm glad you're feeling better. They will get angry. They will get offended. They will accuse you of changing. They will try to guilt trip you back into your old vulnerable state. This is called the narcissistic rage of the witch. When a practitioner or a malicious sender loses their grip on a target, they lash out. It's a confirmation. If they were really your friend, they would celebrate your newfound strength. If they are your bewitcher, they will see your strength as an act of war. You have to be prepared to be alone for a while. The path to freedom involves leaving the coven of toxic people you've surrounded yourself with. You have to be okay with being the villain in their stories. Let them tell everyone you've lost it. Let them say you're paranoid. Their opinion is the price of your soul. Are you willing to pay it? Or are you so hooked on their approval that you'll let them keep siphoning your life away until there's nothing left but a shell? I've seen people die from this, not because a spell killed them directly, but because the stress, the isolation, and the siphoned energy led to a heart attack, or a car accident caused by brain fog, or a disease that the body was too weak to fight off because its immune system, spiritually speaking, had been dismantled. This is serious. This is life and death. You are in a cage, and the person holding the keys is someone you've been calling a friend. It's time to stop talking. It's time to stop explaining. It's time to stop trying to make it work. Some things aren't meant to work. Some people are meant to be left behind in the dark where they chose to live. You were meant for the sun. You were meant for the heights. But you can't fly if someone is holding onto your ankles. You have to kick free. It might hurt. You might lose some skin, but you'll be free. And once you're in the air, they can't reach you anymore. Their arrows only go so high. Their whispers only travel so far. Look around you, right now. What is the first thing your eyes land on that feels wrong? Trust that feeling. Who is the first person you want to defend right now? Oh, it couldn't be him. He's so nice. That's the one. That's the mask. The more perfect the mask, the darker the face beneath it. I know. I used to wear one. I used to be the nice one. I used to be the one everyone turned to for advice while I was stitching their names into the hem of my shroud. I'm telling you this because I have to. It's part of my own restitution. To wake up the people I helped put to sleep. Wake up. The sun is coming up, and it's going to reveal everything. The shadows are scrambling to stay hidden. Don't help them. Don't hide for them. Stand in the light and let the truth burn away the threads. You are stronger than the one who is bewitching you. Why? Because they have to use tools and tricks to get what you have naturally. You are the source, they are just the shadow, and a shadow has no power when the light is directly overhead. Get your house in order, get your spirit in order. Cut the strings. The person you're thinking of, yes, them. They know you know. And now they know you're not afraid anymore. That is the beginning of their end and the start of your life. Do not look back. Remember what happened to Lot's wife when she looked back at the city of destruction. She became a pillar of salt. She became a monument to her own indecision. Don't be a monument. Be a movement. Move away, move up, move on. The air is already starting to feel lighter, isn't it? Just by hearing the truth, the fog is starting to lift. That's the power of the word. The truth doesn't just set you free in some vague, poetic way. It literally shatters the frequencies of falsehood. It breaks the glamour. You're starting to see the world as it really is. It's a battleground. Yes, but it's also a place of incredible victory for those who are brave enough to fight. You are a warrior. You've just been sleeping on the battlefield. It's time to get up. Your armor is waiting. Your life is waiting. And the person who tried to steal it, they've already lost. They just don't know it yet. Because you're awake, and an awake soul is the one thing the darkness can never, ever defeat.